All right. This is 411 Sports Talk Radio, foreignradionetwork.com. We are tuned in on this fine Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, 7 to 9 p.m. We're going strong. Got a lot of things to talk about. So let's go ahead and introduce the players that's here. Professor will be here pretty soon. Right now we have the coach that's, I don't know what he eating, but.
Little chicken.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got home. I'm hungry. Little chicken.
I thought it was Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, not today because I didn't have time to stop.
Okay. We got Chucky here.
Yeah.
What's happening? My cuz, yeah. And you know, this week was it was a pretty good week. It was actually more excitement this week than we've had. Not just because the Cowboys won, but the all NBA trades and stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know, the draft is going on. The Mavericks picked up some players. You know, they may be in for Greek the Freak.
They picked up a bully. What they needed, they picked up a star for Duncan, for Luka. So we good.
Yeah. So they got a lot of things that's happening right now that could be good for them for the future. But you know, Coach don't like us be sitting here talking about the Mavericks and what they got going on. Coaches like to talk about, you know, the who's that team in LA? The Fakers. The Lakers. I'm sorry.
No, you mean the champs.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you know, the put together team.
The champs. So we can talk about the Mavericks. I don't have an issue with the Mavericks. Mavericks are going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, they're going to be good. So first of all, let's let Chucky get started on. You know, everybody's got a rant these days.
Okay.
Everybody got something they want to talk about these days. So Chucky, you hit me up early and said I got to get on. Yeah. Talk to me.
The SEC and the cancellation of games is killing me.
Oh, yeah.
It's killing me. You know, I haven't seen the eggs and the cup. You know, again, we got a game canceled this past Saturday. We missed, you know, a couple of, again, Clemson, again, had to cancel the game. It is just the entirety of college football. And how is it that we got it to work in the bubble? The NFL's gotten through 11 weeks, and yet we still haven't figured out a way to keep college football on the field. We've had more cancellations and expect more going forward. And then with, you know, and that's just killing me. That's making the season not worth watching the season. You got teams that's got 4 games. The ridiculous Pac-12 out there at the West Coast. They have 3 games. I mean, it's just all over the place. And then we're gonna try to have bowls and try to have a bowl championship. I'm just scrap all of it like we should have done. And just all these games are just expeditions or friendlies, because trying to get a champion out of this don't make sense to me.
I would say, how do you pick a number one?
Right.
Can you honestly pick a number one and say they're number one?
Alabama.
Yes.
In a minute.
Yes. Alabama's number one. It's not
exactly.
I mean, but that's it though. Let's say if we got everybody playing all these games, are they still gonna be number one?
Yes.
Nah.
See,
nobody can beat that. Man, have y'all watched Alabama play?
I mean, again, when you're playing, you know, the Sisters of the Great Divide, I'm sorry, Kentucky, then yeah, you're supposed to look that good.
Alabama continues to do what they do every single year under Nick Saban. If they're not 1, they're 2. There's not 4 teams better, so they're going to be in the playoff regardless. So I mean, some things are just foregone conclusions. Pretty much since this playoff started, Alabama's been in it just about every year. I think they've missed maybe 1 year since the playoffs started. Clemson, the same thing. Clemson lost to Notre Dame, not a big deal because they didn't have Trevor Lawrence. They're going to win the ACC once they get everybody together. They'll be there. Notre Dame deserves to be there if they continue to win because they've beaten everybody in front of them. Georgia, Clemson. I mean, I don't know what else you can do. They're playing in the ACC, so they're going to have a rematch with Clemson. So for the ACC championship. So I mean, I love college football. They can do whatever they want to do. I don't really care if the Big Ten decides to quit. So what? Put Oklahoma in that bad boy. I'm all for it.
I'm sure you would be, folks.
Yeah, I figured you'd say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, that's not sleep on my young team. They're starting to come together, but that's another story. But like what you said, man. It kind of sucks that everybody can't figure out a way to do this. But the difference is we're talking professionals, and then now we're talking kids. These
kids have to take a pay cut to go to the NFL from Alabama anyway.
Wait. You make a good point. Now we want to pay these kids that's gonna have to take a pay cut.
Hey.
So paying kids need to be off the table right now.
No, it doesn't. Just don't have to pay them as much. Because you're still making money off of it because they're still televising these games.
They are.
You see, you got help, right?
Always.
Of course, security got my back. You know what I mean? And she should. Boomer Sooner Nation, rise up.
Oh goodness.
And they ain't done jack this year.
Say what?
They ain't done jack this year.
Are you insane? Look, man, when you're started, I'm starting to win money off of people every week because they keep talking. I won a lot of money because people decided to bet Oklahoma State would beat us. I guaranteed we win by 2 touchdowns or more and won a lot of money. But that's another story. They were young to start the year. I kept telling people they struggled. It will come together. It's starting to come together. They're not a finished product, but the defense, 4 straight games holding teams under 20, they haven't done in a decade.
Defense is pretty stout. I give all you credit for that. They lost some people that I thought were irreplaceable, and they have put that thing back together. And so I give them credit on the defensive side of football.
The kids at quarterback starting to come together.
The quarterback is starting to come together, but again, look at what was in front of him. That's a huge milestone. You're talking a couple of back-to-back Heisman winners, number one. It's a huge milestone in front of him. So I expected the offense to be slow, but that defense has impressed me, and it's looking way better, especially in that conference that plays no defense. Anything similar to a defense will bring you a championship in Big 12 football.
Which is weird because this year the defenses have been significantly improved. You haven't seen all the shootouts have been in the SEC.
That's true.
There's only been one shootout in the Big 12, and that was OU Texas.
Right. That's guaranteed. I mean, again, even as TCU, humbles themselves, they still have put together some form of defense.
Well, let's talk Aggie Nation. Aggie Nation's 5-1.
Yep. So this has been a surprising Big 12.
If you look at that top 25, you don't have to go far to catch that AGGIS. You don't have to go far.
They 5-1.
Yeah, we and that 25 is Florida. Just don't want to forget that part. Florida. Down the
when does A&M play Alabama?
They on the books.
Yeah, again, the reality check will take place real soon.
That's fine. No,
bring Texas A&M back down to earth. I don't like Mond the way a lot of people do. I'm not a big fan of the quarterback. I think he's okay, but I think they got to upgrade at that position to really be legit.
I agree with that, but again, I think right now Jimbo is coaching for his life right now. He knows that you can't keep compiling losses, you can't keep losing the SEC. So I think he's trying to mount some form of a redemption tour, and I'm with it. So let's go Eggs.
And you know who else is coaching for their life? Herman, 5-2. He coaches for his life too.
I think Harbaugh out there in Michigan is fighting for his life.
I think that's a bad.
That guy, they're taking it on the chin. They just went to overtime with Rutgers, for goodness sakes. They got a problem out there.
No, I think that's a marriage that's already filed for divorce. We got to wait 60 days for it to final.
All right.
Who's that? You talking about Michigan or Herman?
Michigan. Yeah, Michigan. Tom Herman's going to survive because he has a built-in excuse with all this COVID situation. So he'll survive. They'll keep, they're going to want to see what he can do with a new quarterback next season because obviously the one they have will finally be gone after 6-7 years. He's been in college. He might have been there forever. And that'll be it because that'll be his class.
Right.
Will be there. He would have had years to build this thing. So next season, when Sam Ehlinger is gone and he brings in whomever he chooses as his next quarterback, now we're going to really, and I think we've already seen it, but we're going to have to see, what he can do moving forward. Because I think Sam Ehlinger is a mediocre quarterback. I don't think he's going to get drafted in the NFL. I think he's going to get undrafted. I think somebody's going to give him a shot, but he won't get drafted. And We'll just go from there.
I think he'll be the first draft pick in the Rocks League, XXL or whatever that is.
What's going on, Professor? We got welcome Professor here. What's happening, sir?
Good evening.
All right.
Professor's in the field.
He's on mute. He's on mute. There we go.
Everything's everything. Just ready to get my grub on Thursday.
I heard that. Hey, I do have to ask this question, Professor. Professor, number one, we got 4 quarters or not?
Yeah, I have it.
Good. 2 is how is it that in the years that we've had the AP poll, the lost teams have been 2-0. It's between 0 and 2. And years we've had the AP polls. You don't have no 25 teams that have lost more than 2 games in the AP polls. I think that's what Chucky. That's what you were speaking to. Is all this whole this pandemic? Some teams are playing 3-0. They're playing these low games, stuff like that, and then your losses are only 2 and up. How is that? That's why I asked the question. Can you even create a number one in the AP polls?
No.
And I agree. I don't think you can. Yeah, I know Alabama's going to be who they are, but we have to understand that the first 4 or 5 games in college is puff cups. They cheesecake games. They're easy to win games.
Not this season because everybody's playing only a conference schedule for the most part.
Correct.
Well, let's move on. Coach, you got some rants on NBA, or you want to go to Professor? What you want to do?
Well, it's not necessarily NBA rant. I mean, we should talk about a little bit of the free agency, man, and some of the draft. It was pretty fun. It was exciting. It was some shockers.
It was.
I mean, we saw some things that I don't think any of us saw coming. Some people got paid that shouldn't have gotten paid, in my opinion, the money that they've gotten paid. Especially today, I saw that the Pelicans paid Brandon Ingram a max contract. I think that was premature. I'm not a believer in giving anybody the max that hasn't led their team to the playoffs in any way, shape, or form. I don't care how talented you think he is. He hasn't proven it on a bigger stage. He averaged 25 points a game last year on a bad team. I can't give him money for that. That's foolish. He's not Donovan Mitchell. He's not Jason Tatum, who also got max deals. He's not in that league. Those guys are far and away above him right now. It's not even close. Tatum led his team twice to the finals almost. Mm-hmm. As the lead dog. Donovan Mitchell, if you did watch the playoffs this year, I mean, my goodness, he was putting on a show for a Utah team that really lacks in talent overall. He's kind of the one guy who can do things on his own. So I just think we get Bam Adebayo is another one that got too much money.
He got a lot of money.
They maxed him out, and he's not you can't go to him on the block and say, okay, I need you to get me 35 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a 17 and 9 guy. Is that really worth max money? 17 and 9 standard now? That's kind of weak. So, I just think some guys got paid. Then, as far as free agency is concerned,
that blew up.
I like the move. I like the bully going to the Lake Show.
Montrez?
Yeah, I like Montrez going to the Lake Show. I think you have bona fide. I think that was the piece they needed. I like anytime you get a Gasol in a Laker uniform, it's just supposed to happen.
Well, the shooter pickup is the one I like the most. That's the pickup I like the most. My Lakers did fine. As long as they stay healthy, they'll be right there in the mix. The more shocking moves that kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I can't believe Rondo took the money and went to Atlanta. I was kind of surprised. I was kind of surprised by that. Clearly, he doesn't really care about winning. He's just trying to get paid.
What about Russell Westbrook going to New York? I mean, to the Knicks.
What?
Westbrook.
When did that happen?
Yeah, Westbrook is gone.
Did that happen today?
No, I saw a report on that a couple of days ago. Westbrook is gone.
No, I don't know about that. I didn't see that.
I don't know about that. I think that's
the rumor that they're trying to get.
That's the setup.
Yeah, trying to get him to New York.
Signed off on Silas being the coach, he and Hardaway, and now they want out of there. And I don't think that's fair to Coach Silas. I don't think that's cool for him. And then I think they're just going to make him wait. If I was the owner of the Rockets, I'd just make him. I mean, we ain't got to obligate to trade. I just make you be a. Somebody said general soreness is what Art's going to call probably the first half of the season. Just be general sore and not play. But I would make him sit that thing out because they signed off on that coach, and now they don't want to play or want to be in Houston. So I don't think that's fair to him for whatever reason. And then watching James Harden turn down $103 million means there's way more than money involved.
Well, but okay, so you're right. I just looked up some stuff. But Westbrook is not staying in Houston.
Well, unless they can get a fair deal for him, he is. Look, man, this is where I always love Popovich and the Spurs. You don't want to be here, we will work on getting your ass out of here. Excuse my French. But that's what the Spurs do. They don't play no games. We all knew DeMar DeRozan wasn't better than Kawhi Leonard. But you want to get some type of quality player in return. And the problem with Houston is trying to pull a Pelicans where they get all the picks and everything. You're not going to get that because it's already out there that you don't want to be there. So what you need to do the Knicks have anything to help you build in the future? No. So you don't trade them to the Knicks.
No. They have nothing.
You find a team that has something like Harden wants to go to. He wants
what about
to
Chicago?
Go to Brooklyn.
What about Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago has some things. If you trade him to Chicago, he's like, okay, then I want Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I'm gonna say with Zach LaVine. Yeah,
I want Lauri Markkanen. I want both of them before we can even talk. That's where it starts, and then we go from there.
And a first round. I don't know about giving both of them up.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking for. You might not get them, but the conversation doesn't start unless Zach LaVine and Lauri Markkanen are involved in the conversation, or we don't talk. And Harden, I mean, he's just gonna have to deal with it. I'm not trading him.
Now Harden's gonna have to deal with what he got.
He's gonna have to deal with it. Westbrook, I would trade. Harden, I'm not trading. Just that simple.
I didn't think Fred VanVleet I think he got overpaid too, but I think it was just because we needed to pay somebody, and they needed to pay somebody in Toronto off their championship team. So he got the check by default. Nobody's left.
Well, he's about to take over for Kyle Lowry. Lowry's about to be retired or gone soon. So he earned his money, man. He's been terrific for them. He really has.
He's been terrific for him, but I just think it was a year too soon. Like you say, I would want to see Lowry gone from there, and then because he's still going to be second fiddle behind like Kyle Lowry.
Fair enough. And then sometimes you make moves that are little small moves that make you better. I kind of like what I saw the Mavs do. They did some little things, bringing in the Richardson kid from Miami. I like that. That was a good move. A couple of their draft, they're trying to get a little more athletic. They brought in a couple of roughnecks to defend. Remember, I told you need a knucklehead. They brought a knucklehead in, so if somebody go after Luka, they got old James Johnson in there with his karate and taekwondo stuff he do for a living outside of basketball to step in and whoop somebody's behind if he has to. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of cheap shots on Luka this year without somebody getting involved.
There is a penalty to play. That guy's a black belt. His parents are black belts. He's a 7-0 MMA fighter.
You have to have them. People can say what they want to say. You've got to have one or two guys out there that play who just don't care about points. They just like, you touch my guy,
I'm gonna touch your guy.
Yeah. I wasn't really big on Willie Cauley-Stein, but I guess it was out of necessity. But they brought it back. I would have gone or threw a flyer out there for Boogie. Houston did.
Boogie Cousins.
Same deal and threw a flyer out there on Boogie. I'm not big on Willie Cauley-Stein. I wasn't big on him in college, and I'm not big on him now.
How much better does Stan Van Gundy make the Pelicans?
He doesn't.
Nah, I'm about to say not much.
That was a bad pickup because they're built to run. He's a slow it down coach.
He's a slow it down guy. He is a molasses and cement guy.
So this is what they're going to be doing: dropping the ball to Zion and having everybody else spread it out on the court. Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, that's not their game.
And they're going to change that. And like you said, when they gave all that money to Brandon Ingram, they're going to trade him in a year because he's not going to get along with Stan.
What about Steve Nash to the I
I didn't think Ty Lue would work, and it did. So I just have to see.
Excuse me 1 second, guys.
I didn't think Ty Lue was gonna work in that group. I didn't, but Steve Nash is a well-rounded basketball player, and they all signed off on him. And apparently, he's been working with KD from Golden State. I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know he was a consultant with Golden State. So I think it may work out better than we think because all the intertwined back behind the scenes they've been doing, I had no idea.
But then Ty Lue goes to the Clippers. I think that's make the Clippers a worse team than Doc Rivers. They shouldn't have
I think that works out well. Ty Lue is used to dealing with superstar athletes. I mean, the guy coached LeBron, and he's used to.
No, LeBron coached him.
However you want, they got a chip. However you want, they got a chip. So
let's get that right. LeBron coached him. He didn't coach LeBron.
Well, somebody they ended up with a chip out of it. They had a parade in Cleveland.
Yeah, okay, I got that. Yeah, but it wasn't because of Ty Lue.
Ty Lue's got a shot now to go get it in the city that Bron's in. So hopefully that works out.
And go get it by himself and not with somebody else.
Yeah. You know, again, we can say the same thing about Kawhi. Kawhi didn't look the same Kawhi that he was in Toronto that he looked for the Clippers. He looked tired, frustrated.
Yeah.
He needed a coach on the sideline that helped him out. Nick Nurse was better than we think.
Yeah. And then Doc Rivers, I like that Doc Rivers did land back on his feet with Philadelphia.
And he's putting together a Philadelphia squad. So that's going to be interesting to see the changes there. He's going to make, first of all, Joel Embiid get in shape. I don't think they've been in shape since he's been in the league. And then he's surrounding him with shooters. And so it's not all on Ben Simmons. It's not all on him anymore. They picked up, again, he got his son-in-law from us. Which is, a good shooter. And he picked up a bunch of other shooters. So that's the thing. So it's not all on Ben Simmons to try to go down and create. All he's got to do is defend like he does and distribute. He can be a 6'9" point guard and just distribute the basketball. And then if all fails, Joel Embiid's going to give you 20-10 every night because he'll be in shape.
Yeah. And then last question, is Mike D'Antoni gone for coaching?
No.
He'll pick up somewhere else.
He will find a way to be somewhere else. Again, the man, people don't want to give Mike D'Antoni credit, but he is a Hall of Fame coach. He should be. He will be in the Hall of Fame. He definitely innovated the game. Again, with that squad he had in Phoenix with Nash and Stoudemire putting up 120 and 30, nobody's seen that before. And so he is a Hall of Fame caliber coach, and he will be back in the league. If not next year, certainly year after that. I think he needed a year off because that thing in Houston just obliterated.
Yeah.
And I think he needed a year to kind of sit back and recharge and see where the game is going. Clearly, you still need a 5 in this league. Playing without a center is crazy. But I think he will rebound himself and find somewhere to be. Yeah.
Okay. I guess last question. The Mavericks, do we think they're putting together a strong team to make a strong run at the West?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely, yes.
And are they going to get the great defeat? Because they planned everything up to do that, though.
They are, but I don't. I really think that Milwaukee's going to do everything in their power to keep him there. He's stable there. He's got a fan base that's rooted for him for that. So I really believe he'll stay. Either he'll stay in Milwaukee or he'll go to a bigger market team, L.A., New York, one of those. But I don't see him coming to Dallas. I don't know, why. Dallas is a good place, but I don't see him coming here. We just haven't been able to land a big free agent.
You're right about that.
But again, we have probably, as the league says, we have one of the best facilities, one of the best player-friendly owners, and we offer everything in the world you would need. But I just don't know why we cannot land a big-name free agent.
And then now you got one of the best players, one of the best, one of the top 5.
And you have one of the best top 2 players. In the league, you got 2 bona fide young talents. And they mesh together and play. This is the environment to win.
So we'll see. Since Coach is back, we're going to go ahead and get this 4 quarters out the way. Professor, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Hold on, I got to do this. Do this. While you looking, I got to do this right here. See, you got 4 quarters, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get 4 quarters out the way with Coach. What you got, Coach? Professor?
So, quarter number 1, and this is an individual that no one brought up when we're talking about the contracts that we've been seeing during this free agency period. Did Michael Jordan overpay for Gordon Hayward? Starting with Coach.
Starting with me, huh? Absolutely.
And why is that the case? Why was it too much money for a player like that?
Gordon Hayward is probably the luckiest player I've seen in the NBA in a long time. He had a really good 2-year stretch with Utah that got him a big money contract for Boston. And then he gets another big contract because there's no name out there that Michael Jordan can go get. And Gordon Hayward is a name. But if you look at the production doesn't warrant that type of contract. It just doesn't. So now you've made Gordon Hayward and LaMelo Ball the face of a franchise. Let me tell you what LaMelo and Gordon Hayward get you. 34 and 48. That's what they get from the record standpoint. 34 and 48. Gordon Hayward is losing a step. He's still a pretty good mid-range shooter. And don't get me wrong, he's a quality player. He's probably, on a good team, a 16, 17 point a game guy. On a bad team, he's probably going to average 20, 25 points a game this year. Now, he's not going to win. So, is he going to really be worth the money? No. He put himself in a situation where if he doesn't perform, he is going to get absolutely crushed if he doesn't lead them anywhere. And Michael Jordan put this kid in a bad position. And Gordon Hayward, all due respect to him, he's in a no-win spot because he's going to – first of all, he's not the face. LaMelo is. LaMelo is the reason they're going to be on television. And he's just going to be the guy that they paid $120 million to. But, they're still paying Nicholas Batum $27 million. So go figure.
I was going to say, anybody that okay, go ahead, Chucky.
I totally agree. I think Gordon Hayward is – look, here's the thing. Here's what my coach always told me. The best ability is availability. And Gordon Hayward has neither of that. He is always injured. It's like the guy breaks something coming out of his house. Like, I've never seen anybody spend more time rehabbing something. And I think that's way too much to play for a guy that's fragile. And I think this is – but, again – if this was anybody else, I'd be like, they're crazy. But this has Michael Jordan's thumbprint all over it. Overpay for a guy that's not worth it. You put way too much pressure on him, and then he crumbles under the pressure. And then, again, I think the Charlotte Hornets have become Michael's toy, and he treats it as such. I don't think he has any real idea of what management ownership. I don't think any of that. I know he's revamped it 2 or 3 times, but the person that he can't fire is himself. And until he does that and get real basketball people in there who could override him, because again, the LaMelo was his pick. He told him, he gave him permission to do it, and then this has Michael Jordan's imprint all over it, and it is yet again another bad Michael Jordan basketball decision.
And I was going to say this. I was going to say the same thing. Anything that Michael Jordan signs his name to and says this is it, it's not it. You run. You run a long way. You don't stay around.
Do you guys understand that you just said we got to get real basketball people in there? We're talking about Michael freaking Jordan.
No. But you could be a great basketball player, but a terrible owner, a terrible coach. We've seen that many times.
We've seen this experiment. Magic Johnson coaching.
Right.
Horrible.
You get great.
We've seen how this fails.
Over and over again.
Give credit to us Larry Bird when he coached the Pacers.
Yeah, that's it. But everybody else, horrible. So you don't bring great basketball players to a team and think you're going to get a great basketball team.
Even then, he had to go get Rod Artest out the stadium. So,
right, and only reason why he got that because he fell into Reggie Miller.
Yeah. So again,
Reggie Miller was already there.
so again, I this is a bad basketball decision by Michael Jeffrey Jordan. He is still a GOAT.
But by the greatest basketball player.
Horrible
But
management and ownership.
That's like putting LeBron James in coaching. It ain't happening.
And his next endeavor, this NASCAR team, I'm waiting to watch it implode. So we'll see how that goes now.
Well, as long as he ain't got to drive the car.
He's got Bubba Wallace driving the car, so we'll see. Again, he puts people in the right position, puts all this pressure on them, and then now he makes them try to go out and beat him. And there's only one Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and go to quarter two. How much pressure is on Stephen Curry without Klay Thompson, bench warmer?
You know what? I saw a tweet that Stephen Curry is really hurt about Klay Thompson. I mean, he's really hurt about him. So I think the pressure is not just on him to continue to do it. I think the pressure is on him. Is he going to get his mind right to continue to do what he got to do? Because he's hurt behind this Klay Thompson decision. So he's got to get himself out of that area and out of that way. I think he can still shoot. He's still a great player, but I think he's going to need a lot more than he had before in the past around him to actually be a contender again. So I think the pressure is going to be on him because he puts it on himself. But can he get out of his own way, to keep it up?
Chucky?
I think the same amount of pressure on it was on him with Klay Thompson. I think he's got to go out at this point. He's got to prove to us that he's Steph Curry again. I mean, we hadn't seen him on a basketball court in a long time.
Yeah.
And so I think the pressure is on him. That's always been on him. You got to prove to us that you are the sharpshooter that you used to be, that you are a person that could get you 50 or not. You got to go out and prove just you, Steph Curry, much less Klay. I don't believe that you a splash brother. I hadn't seen that in a while. So I need to see you do it without KD. I need to see you do it, back when it was just you. And we found out that Klay Thompson could shoot like lights out. But I think the pressure's on him just to become Steph Curry again. And then we'll see what Draymond has to bring to the table and the rest of the guys there that are there. But the biggest amount of pressure I put on that squad is Steve Kerr. Because Kerr's got a coach now without the added advantage of having 2, possibly 3 of the best shooters in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to see. That's the issue. So I want to see how those guys perform.
Coach?
I think Curry will be fine. I think because I think the Warriors, they can still win. They just have to play different. They're very athletic now. They're probably more athletic now than they've ever been. When you have Kelly Oubre and you have Andrew Wiggins and then the Wiseman kid that they got out of Memphis, I mean, they're more athletic than they've ever been. So it's not that they can't still win. I mean, they can't compete for a championship because, Denver and the Lakers and the Clippers are better than they are. But I don't think people realize how good Klay Thompson is. We sometimes just overlook how good he is, and losing a player like Klay Thompson is going to hurt. Mm-hmm. It's going to hurt. I don't care how good a coach Steve Kerr is. I don't care how good a player Steph Curry is. When you lose a guy that's a sniper, one of your better perimeter defenders, who's very unselfish and doesn't really care about the amount of touches he gets, when you lose a player of that magnitude, you're going to feel it. I don't care what you put around him. But I think Steph will be fine. He'll have a good season if he stays healthy. He'll be in that 24 to 26 a game range. They will win enough games to compete for probably that 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. They won't be much higher than that. And they'll be fine. Kerr's a terrific coach. They have a better team than people think. They're just going to look different. It won't be the Splash Brothers. It'll be Klay. But the rest of the team is built to be successful. They're very athletic now, so they're going to be able to defend better than they've ever been able to defend. That big man they have is a legitimate big man. He's a 7'1" athlete Okay, I don't think people realize that it's going to be Lob City going on with that big man. They developed depth last year because they had to play so many young players. So I think they'll be better than people think. I think Steph will be good. Obviously, he won't be in the MVP conversation unless they win 50 games. And if they do that, then
he should.
Steve Kerr should be the coach of the year, definitely.
Absolutely.
But I don't think that's going to happen in the West. They're probably a 46, 47 win team, somewhere in there, and
They'll still
6, 7,
get 'em
8
in.
seed, somewhere in there. Huh?
Yeah, they'll get them in. So that's still give them about 7 or 8. So, yeah.
Yeah, because Steph Curry would be fine.
All right, quarter number 3, coach. True or false? Kevin Durant will be MVP next year.
False.
Right.
I don't think first of all, I think Kevin Durant's going to have a good season. I really do. But the way that Brooklyn team is constructed, outside of Kevin Durant and Kyrie, who neither one of them are unselfish players, I just don't see it. I see 2 ball-dominant guys who are going to try to get theirs and are good enough to lead the team to wins. But you got to get touches for Dinwiddie. You got to get touches for Harris, who you paid a ton of money to. We didn't even talk about how much money Harris got. My goodness, he got paid. And so I just think the way they're built, I don't think they're going to win as much as a lot of people think. I don't think they're better than Boston. I think Boston's still better than they are. I think they're probably a 3rd seed, 4th seed. I don't think they're better than Miami, somewhere in there. And that's not going to be enough to win him the MVP, in my opinion.
Mitch Warmer.
And we got to remember, Kevin Durant hadn't really played in almost 2 seasons now. So he's got to pick up his legs and everything. He's got to get a lot of stuff going on about him. So it's going to be a second or 2 before we see the real Kevin Garnett. And the question you have to ask yourself is he's going to be off kilter? When you come back from injury, you're not always the same player that you were before you left injury. There's a few players that are actually great. Better. Adrian Peterson is one of them, but there's not a lot of players that are the same player they were when they left injury, when they come off of injury. And he's talking about 2 years of injury. So he's got a lot of stuff to overcome before we can start talking about him being an MVP or this superstar player. And, then he's got to mesh with the team too. It's not just about being great. You got to still mesh with the team, vibe with the team. You got to get everybody's, everybody's calisthenics. You got to get all that together, to be as great as you can be. So there's going to be a lot of stuff for us to even have that conversation. I'm saying false too. There's a lot of stuff you got to figure out the whole year. It's going to take you a whole year to figure this stuff out, and you're not going to do it in a couple of days and say we're good.
Chucky.
I'm gonna agree with Coach. I don't think he'll be MVP. And I'm gonna throw out my home bias. I think Luka will be MVP this year. And
Luka.
I think Luka will be MVP this year. I think he will garnish enough year 3. This will be his year to take us a little bit further in the playoffs. And I think he'll be your MVP. I think without a shortened season, the route he was projecting before,
he would have been MVP last year.
Yeah, I think he will bring it home. So yeah, my vote is Luka Doncic for MVP this year.
He would have been MVP over Giannis 32-16. Come on, man. Get out of here. And then they have the best record in the NBA. Look, I love Luka. He's way better than I thought he was going to be. Exactly. Fun player to watch. I tune in to watch him. Giannis averaged 32 and 15. There was no way Luka was winning the MVP a year ago. There was no way anybody was winning it a year ago. And they won 60 games.
How many triple doubles did Luka have over Giannis?
How many double doubles did Giannis have over Luka?
We're talking about triple doubles, not a double double.
What difference does it make?
I need a triple than a double.
One's a point guard, one's a power forward.
Oh,
He's not supposed to get a triple double.
That's gonna be an argument we're gonna have later on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be an argument later on because Luka was on pace to do that.
Yeah,
He will-
I just want to see what he does for year 3. I think which I say the bubble basically was year 3 because that was like a new season, and I think we'll see what they have in store. But I think he's had time to develop. I see he picked up some weight. I've been watching. I follow him on Instagram, so he's been lifting more, trying to get his body in better shape. He's had a little time off, but he's been working out, and I think he'll come back in better shape, a little thicker. They got a policeman now to make sure that if you check him, you're going to get checked. So I think he'll be freed up to do some other things. So we'll see what he can really do without that intimidating factor that he'll get pushed around or falling on the floor or fall in the stands. I think we'll see a better, looser Luka, and we'll see. Now, we can keep Porzingis healthy. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be over.
I think at some point we just need to trade whatever we got at the end of the bench for a good orthopedic surgeon to keep his knees healthy, and then we might see what we got there.
Yeah, had you kept Porzingis healthy throughout the playoffs, Mavericks, I think they would have went further than we expected them to go. Because they never played with both of them at the same time, and they maybe 2 or 3 games they played with both of them at the same time.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt we'd beat the Clippers. They were a dysfunctional group from the beginning.
Yeah.
All right, and fourth quarter, who has the best duo in the NBA besides LeBron and AD, Chucky?
Oh.
What?
Well, now, as I have previously stated,
I knew you were going to go there.
That is
there's a little guy, there's a couple of foreign gentlemen that suit up and, on Dirk Nowitzki Parkway.
Big D.
I'm rather fond of. So if I had to take my guess, I'm taking KP and Luka as a duo. When healthy, I think they're hard to deal with. I think teams will get to see that a better taste of that this year. But seriously, I still like Harden and Westbrook on a given night. I mean, that's 100 points if both of them own. So you can always keep those two dudes. But truth be said, I like that crew out in Utah. I think those two can put up points and really play well together. So I like both. I like the crew in Utah that really get it done. They showed me something in the playoffs. So I like that duo.
Gobert and Mitchell?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that group. They showed me something in the playoffs. I think Donovan Mitchell is a superstar. I think Joker is I think that duo, to me, they carry a team and they do very well together.
Oh, you mean Denver then? Joker.
Denver.
Yeah.
Denver. Yeah.
Jamal Murray and Jokic. Okay.
And Jokic. I like that crew in Denver, yes.
Yep.
Bench warmer.
There's a couple of them out there. But, you got Jimmy Butler in Miami and Bam Abdudo. You got the Greek Freak and Chris Middleton. You got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And we already talked about LeBron and Anthony Davis. But, I think Porzingis and I'm kind of with you, Chucky. I think Porzingis and Luka, I think once they get their mesh together, they're gonna be tough to contend with. I mean, really tough to contend with, especially if Porzingis can stay on the floor. If both of them can stay on the floor, they're gonna be tough to contend with. But you have to deal with injuries. You have to deal with one not being on the floor, the other being on the floor. But I think when they're both on the floor, I think this is it may be another LeBron and Anthony Davis. Just of the Caucasian persuasion. That's all.
Coach.
It's funny nobody mentioned Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. That's so funny.
No, I did say Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
That's a pretty good tandem. Look,
yeah.
This question
is not a good tandem to me.
This question is not fair. Professor did this on purpose. We'll say Anthony Davis and LeBron. This is not even up for debate. But if we're going to go outside of it, the two tandems are like my favorite two tandems are obviously Porzingis and Luka. I think those two will be terrific together. But I don't think Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant get enough respect. These boys are 23 years old. and they have been deep into the playoffs together twice.
Yeah.
And they're both terrific wing defenders. Tatum's more of the scorer. Jaylen Brown's not a little chunk as a scorer. He's a 20-point a game scorer. I don't think we realize how good they are as a tandem because they're so young. But that tandem right there and Luka and Porzingis, to me, are the next two after LeBron and AD.
I think Marcus Smart brings a lot to that team too, though, and I think we don't. I think of them more as a trio than a duo. I think Marcus Smart, what he brings to that team is just as bad as the other two. So I think of them as the three piece.
Not me because they could still win without Marcus Smart. You take one of those two off the team, they're done.
But you look at Marcus Smart as more of a defensive player, though.
He's one of those heart and soul guys.
Yeah.
He's tough. He'll take a charge. He'll take a big shot.
He'll get that down and dirty. He's that down and dirty type of guy. But
that's what I like about it because I think those other two guys are a little finesse. For me, I think Marcus Smart is the get down and get dirty guy.
Well, Marcus Smart reminds me of Derek Fisher.
True.
Yeah.
Derek Fisher. Gotta have him.
All right, we got overtime, or we don't?
No, that was it. That was my four quarters.
Okay.
I was gonna say
Right.
I noticed. I think besides the duos we talked about, and no one ever talks about them, and I'm not sure why, but I thought about Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. I think
they're not together anymore.
Yeah.
Wiggins is
okay. They're not okay.
Golden State, yeah. But
Okay, that's right. Okay, I totally forgot about that. So I probably would then say between KP and Luka, and I really like Jamal Murray and the Joker. I mean, out in Denver, I really like that combo, man. And Joker has really improved his game, man. And Jamal Murray, the dude can play.
Superstar. Yeah,
He can play, man. And I'm just saying, Denver has been in the top 4 in the Western Conference the last 2 years because of those two.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, don't forget about them two because Joker and Jamal Murray can play some ball. And now KP and Luka, I like that. But my issue with that, obviously, is KP staying on the court.
Yep.
I want to be able to see Luka and Kristaps on the floor to get at least 60 games and see how it is. We saw that sample size when they were on the floor in the regular season, and hardly anyone could stop them.
Right.
So, but Kristaps had got to find a way to stay healthy, and it's no fault of his own. He's a very tall dude, but anytime you have a dude that's as tall as a center and can shoot from 3-point range, it's hard to defend that, let alone Luka is a natural passer, let alone how cold-blooded he is when he shoots the ball. Those are two headaches that I don't think any NBA team would want to face. And I've said this before. If you get those two on the floor together a lot without any injuries, they will give the Lakers problems, even with AD and LeBron on the floor. And I saw that in 3 or 4 games where the Mavericks and the Lakers went head-to-head with Kristaps and with Luka on the floor, with LeBron and with AD on the floor. And I must say, I mean, the Mavericks held their own before the Lakers would pull away in the fourth quarter. And then there were games to where the Lakers had no answer for KP and Luka on the floor out in LA. So, I'm just saying between Kristaps and Luka and Jamal Murray and Jokic, and that's let alone AD and LeBron. I mean, to me, that's my number one. But between those other two duos I just mentioned, just look out.
I gotta see coaches.
I mean, we talk about Luka and KP, but Murray and
I
Jokic
gotta see coaches' response when you said that when when KP and Doncic was on the floor, Lakers didn't have no answer.
He knows.
This no response. This debate right here.
He knows that.
I'm saying more often than not, the Lakers really didn't have an answer, and we saw those games. We saw how the Lakers struggled with those two on the floor. So I'm just saying when the playoffs come, if the Mavericks is at full strength and the Lakers is at full strength, the Lakers is not going to beat the Mavericks handily, hands down, that easily. They're just not.
Ain't no sweet.
Okay.
Nowhere.
In the regular season,
Coach, we'll let you respond. This is the presidential debate. We'll let you respond.
in the regular season a year ago, the Lakers had issues with Portland because they had problems with the small guards. They had issues with Denver. It's the regular season. When you get focused on a team in a 7-game series, things change. So I wouldn't be quick to say they wouldn't be able to figure out a way to slow them down. Frank Vogel proved in the playoffs this past season he's a terrific defensive adjustment person. So he would have figured out a way to slow one of them. Greatness you can't slow down. You can't stop. Luka, you can't stop. You don't have to. What you have to do is make sure the others don't become a problem. And that's all you have to do. Luka can get his 45. 45 not going to win the game. It's not letting him get 35. Porzingis get 35. Then Richardson get 22. And then Powell off the bench get 16. You know, you don't need that kind of nonsense.
Don't include Powell.
I'm just saying.
He was just a pickup.
That's what you can't have happen, and that's what they would do. That's what they did to Denver. Okay, Jamal Murray, we really can't stop you, but we can slow down the Joker. That's what they did. And once they slowed down the Joker, you beat them in 5. So,
all right, your 30 seconds up.
Oh no, man! Again, I say that AD and LeBron are the epitome of what that is. I think my Mavericks do very well against them. I think we match up very well against them. I think now having a more balanced score. I think the thing the Mavericks did well this year was draft 3D guys that play defense and shoot the 3. So I look forward to seeing what we got. And again, December 20th can't get her fast enough. Let's do them up and go. I'm ready to go. Back on the floor.
Well, that's some bull crap in itself. That's some bull crap.
I know the December 20th thing, huh? Now all we need is Kamala Harris, and Mavericks will go over that top, won't they?
That's all we need. Let's get it. Good job for Melo going back to Portland. I think that was a good fit. Glad they're bringing him back.
All right, so let's keep it moving. We got to deal with a rare win for the Cowboys.
Easy.
It is a rare win.
Hey,
this
Coach
year.
McCarthy went in there with a sledgehammer and watermelons on Saturday night.
I heard that. Who put that out there?
His best Gallagher interpretation, and told him in order for us to go forward, we got to start smashing our opponents. So I don't know what he's gonna do for Thursday, but if he needs more watermelons, I'm all with it. You know, hey, let's just keep smashing stuff till we get it right. But yeah, I was pleased with the win. Rare or not, again, when you play in the weakest division. 3 wins is just like 10 wins. And so we fit in with everybody else at this point. We have a chance to be at the top of the division by Thursday evening. We're watching the Eagles and Carson Wentz implode in front of our very eyes. The team that ain't even got a mascot, we'll see what that happens to. And the fighting Jason Garrett, well, they do look good, but I just think they're one draft away from really being good. Danny Dimes is doing the best he can with a bunch of spare parts. Without Saquon, that team doesn't scare me at all.
Professor, give me your take.
Take on what in particular?
The game, and I'll do keys to the game after everybody plays. I mean, talks.
I think my take on it is you saw a team when they're fully healthy, as presented, as advertised, with Andy Dalton at quarterback. And when you put your mind to it, you saw the quality out there. And I'm surprised to say that the defense that we have now is much more improved than they were 4 weeks ago, when I kept talking about the defense and how piss poor they were playing. But now you're starting to see, you saw Zeke Elliott run the way he did. You saw his backup, Tony Pollard, providing quality play. And what I saw the most, I was impressed with. We finally saw the example of Andy Dalton, of why we brought him in here to back up Dak Prescott. His play on the field, his 3 TDs and 1 interception, that's the reason why I kept saying that was the best move that the Cowboys could have made in the offseason, instead of having Cooper Rush or instead of having anybody else back there. Dalton didn't find a team to sign with to be a starter, So he fell in the Cowboys' lap, and Jerry Jones took advantage of that. And this is why you brought Dalton in here in the first place, in the event Dak Prescott do get injured, even though Prescott really don't get injured. But this is why you brought him in here. And now, for me, when you got Andy Dalton, who's probably looking to start for a team next year, this is his opportunity to show the NFL that he's still a capable starting quarterback. So I won't be surprised if Andy Dalton play decent football the rest of the season as he's healthy. And then when you get into free agency, I don't expect the Cowboys. I don't expect him to stay with the Cowboys as a backup. But this is Dalton's chance to prove to the NFL that he's still a starting Cowboy quarterback. And to go along with that is quality play on the field this season in a weak division. So with that being said, and with the implosion of the Eagles right now, I know this is crazy to say, but Dallas is damn near favorite to win the NFC East if we stay the way we are now, and if the type of ball I saw last Sunday, if that's the way they're going to play, we may have some close games, but the offense was decent. And so with that being said, I think we got a heck of a chance. And if we saw Philadelphia again in AT&T with Andy Dalton at quarterback, we would beat the Eagles. We would beat the Giants, and we would beat the Redskins. So, and I know I said the Eagles was the best team in the division, but right now, the way Carson Wentz is playing, I can't say that right now. I just can't say that. Alex Smith and the Redskins, I got to see a little bit more from Alex Smith coming back from that devastating injury he had 2 years ago. And the Giants, I've written them off. I mean, it's about to be a dumpster fire there. Now there's rumors that Jason Garrett might be out after 1 year as offensive coordinator.
I heard that. Yep.
And with that being said, I'm like, you know what? They're not winning the NFC East. So to be honest with you, if Coach McCarthy could get his troops together, we still have an outside shot of winning the division, and we might see a division winner with a 7-9 record or 6-10. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it real. So that's my take.
Yeah. Coach.
What we saw is fool's gold. Don't eat the cookies. Don't buy into it. The Minnesota Vikings defense is very, very below average. They start a bunch of fourth rounders on the defensive line, third rounders on the defensive line. They don't have any great corners. They've been a mediocre defense all season. The Cowboys defense wasn't that good. There were people running wide all over the place, wide open at receiver. They gave up a bunch of big plays. The defense made one play. The safety came in and popped the receiver who had caught a ball, was about to get 15 yards, and knocked it out of his hands. Well, that was good. We hadn't seen a lot of that over this season. Awuzie came back and looked like he always looked terrible. They tackled okay. The only bright spot I saw in the game really was I saw an improvement on the offensive line. They gave Dalton time, but again, I'll pass judgment on that offensive line on Thursday when they're dealing with that D-line that they got to deal with on Thursday that out there in Washington. So overall, I mean, I give them a B for effort. I mean, they played hard. They made the plays they needed to make to win a football game over a team that had won 3 in a row that looked like they were playing well. But I'm gonna calm down before I get too crazy because I really think the Giants are playing the best in the division. I watched them play Tampa Bay tough. They should have beat Philadelphia in the game that they lost to them and gave the game away. And then they came back, and they've had a couple of really impressive, solid performances, in my opinion. I think they, with their improved defense and the way I've seen them play over the last 3 weeks, I think they're probably, to me, should have the edge in the division right now. I think if Dallas on Thursday duplicates this performance in some way, shape, or form, I don't know how they're going to do it, but if they happen to duplicate it and they can block this defensive line, this offensive line can block that defensive line the way we saw them block Minnesota, then my tune will change come Friday. But right now, I'm going to play the wait and see game.
I guess it's some creativity from Kellen Moore. I like the option play with Zeke on the 2-point conversion. I like the I like the last touchdown to from Andy Dalton that he threw to Schultz, who did the underneath route, the drag route. I like that. I saw some different wrinkles that they were putting in, and I see that they worked on that during the bye week, which is what you expect for them to come back. And like you said, offensive line, the shuffle, putting Zach Martin at tackle. I think it's a big move, and then we'll see. I saw that they put the center from Wisconsin. They put him on IR.
Yeah.
For 3 weeks, so we'll see on that works. But I saw some things that I was looking to see. Again, I was thinking Kellen Moore was a complete bust, but he showed me.
No, that's my man.
He showed me that over the bye week that they were able to add some wrinkles and implement some better situations and to get some of the guys freed up. I didn't like the way we didn't get to use Gallup, but again, some days ain't your day. But with the receiving core and tight end and backs we have, we should be able to go up and down the field with anybody.
Yeah, I think what we have to realize is this right here. Let's go back to the Pittsburgh game. That defense played really good against Pittsburgh. And they were in that game the whole time against Pittsburgh. Then you bring it to the Minnesota game, and you're playing one of the best running backs in the NFL, which Dallas had not shown. Yeah, they've not shown, the defense has not shown that they could stop running back. But while they didn't stop Dalvin Cook, he still rushed over 100 yards. They slowed his impact down.
They were popping too.
Yeah, and they was hitting him.
Physical. Now that was the one thing I feel like they did step it up is their physicality.
Yeah, so the defense is what got the whole thing started, I believe, and then the fumble recovery by who was that Wilson?
Donovan Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, the fumble recovery by him, it got everything just kind of started. And once you in the NFL, once you get that momentum going, you can really play a softer team. I don't think. And Minnesota. Remember though, we have to realize that Minnesota was coming off of a 3-game winning streak.
Yep.
Mike Zimmer had changed up his defense. He changed the way things looked and everything. So you coming off of a 3-game winning streak, and then you face the Cowboys, who was just now hadn't won a game yet. And so I think the turnaround. I still don't like the way Dallas plays defense with this 5-2 setup. I would love to see a 4-3 with Sean Lee and Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith back there. I still don't like the 5-2. But if you're gonna make it work, make it work. And remember, you didn't have Tavon Diggs back there either.
Right.
So, even at that.
But you had a Woozier back.
Yeah, you did have Woozier back. Yeah. I mean, and I think for the past couple of weeks before the Pittsburgh game, me and my wife were saying, man, this team don't look like they're ready to play. You watch them walk out of the locker room like, okay, here we go again.
Well, no, they played good defense against Philadelphia. They just had Ben DiNucci out there, so you forget that the defense was.
Yeah. They were like,
I think
okay,
Tank
well,
Lawrence is back engaged. I think that's the best thing is watching Tank and Lawrence get back involved,
right?
Because he's taken a few games off, and it looks like he's back and re-engaged himself into playing football.
And then I'm sorry, you can't take away Randy Gregory's play and even Adolis Smith's play. They've been around the quarterback a lot. The problem is now is the Cowboys need more interception takeaways. Where
one hit Xavier right in the damn hands.
Right.
He dropped it. Then he looks at his hands. Ain't nothing wrong with your hands.
Why you play defense?
What are you doing? I mean, Cousins threw it right to him.
Right.
And he just dropped it. Then looked at his hands. I mean, I know it was a 4th down, so it didn't matter anyway. It was the last play of the game, basically. But still, get that in.
Catch the ball.
Catch the damn ball.
What's funny to me, Coach, is watching Jeff Heath in the Raider uniform catch everything that come his way in the interception.
But he did that for Dallas. He caught picks in Dallas. If it was around him, he caught it.
Except when he got hit by Julio Jones.
Yeah, well, that's
he had that right in his hand.
He would have caught it if he wouldn't have got hit by Julius Jones. Julio Jones. He would have caught it.
Yeah, but if it was fifth, we all be drunk.
I watched him, and again, I call them Cowboys West because that team looks awfully familiar with you put stars on their helmet, and those guys are still I mean, from Jason Witten to Jeff Heath to
Although Whitney ain't really doing nothing though. Whitney just just standing around, really not doing nothing.
because
He
what
caught a
No, he's
touchdown.
catching.
don't win the
No,
game.
no.
He had
He's
a
catching
touchdown
touchdown
pass
passes.
last week.
He's
Catching touchdown
He
passes.
kept the touchdown passes.
Had one
Whitney,
night.
Whitney is 7 for 56 for 2 touchdowns the
Hey,
whole season.
caught one
The-
last night. So,
Now, yeah, the best
or
the best ex Cowboy I think is Cole Beasley.
Right now, I can't argue with that. Him and Cole Beasley is getting targets like crazy right now from Josh
Yeah.
Allen.
As he
Mhm.
should.
I can't argue that one.
because all the attention is on Diggs, and it doesn't matter. Diggs is still leading the NFL in all the categories.
Right.
Every
Cole
receiver.
Beasley, he can run a route. He can get open. He's open.
Yeah, he like that little. Well, I call him little bunny rabbit. Not a bunny rabbit, but a raccoon just be running all over the field.
Cole Beasley finds gaps in spaces. Zone, man to man, he gets open. He's free.
Yeah. But this was a good win for the Cowboys. They needed it actually
They need
because now every team in the NFC East, NFC least, like Michael Strahan would say, the NFC least is has only 3 wins. And I think we've already talked about it. What team do you think comes out? And we're gonna start with you, Coach, since you're throwing dispersions on everybody. What team comes out of NFC East as the leader?
Well, right now, from what I've seen, and I reserve the right to change my mind. Right now, I would say the Giants. Like I said, I've been more impressed with the Giants, even in the losses they've had against Tampa Bay and teams like that. Even when they somehow blew that game against Philadelphia, what you've noticed is they have structure. Okay. They have players that are improving on defense. Their defense is significantly better. The offensive line is starting to block better for Daniel Jones. They're involving him more in the running game. They're using more receivers. Sterling Shepard's still consistent. It hasn't even looked like they've really missed Saquon Barkley that much because I think his kid's name is Gallum, the running back number 22, is showing he can hold the fort down for now. They have a really good tight end, and if he learns how to catch on a more consistent basis, he'll be a beast. He drops too many passes. He's really fast and stuff like that. So they have a lot of things, and Judge, the coach, has created structure there. They look like a more disciplined team. They look like a team that knows what they're doing. They just need a little bit more talent for it to all come together. But in this division, they might not need it because everybody stinks. So right now, I'd pick the Giants.
All right, Professor.
Give me last.
Okay, Chucky.
Right.
Wait, hold up. Can we do that?
Yeah.
We're able to do that now. We can change positions now.
Yeah. Give it to me.
I don't know. Professor never lets us change positions on 4 quarters. I'm gonna let you do that. Okay. Go ahead, Chucky.
Again, I think the Fighting Jason Garrett's are one draft away from being something spectacular. I think they got the bones in place. They just need to trim up. It's like a really good meal, but it just doesn't have 1 or 2 garnishments to make it good. It's a really good steak, but doesn't have any sides. The Washington Football Club, I think, to sell a team.
No. It's Washington football team.
Yeah, whatever.
They're not a club yet.
I mean,
They're just a team.
they can't decide on what a mascot will be. That tells you where they are as a whole organization. So, I think that's right. I think Haskins, your number 1 draft pick is several DMPs, and he finally got a uniform last week. I was like, this dude ain't seen this jersey since week 5. So I think that's where they are.
I did see him roll out right on the ground though. Haskins. I did see him roll around after the end of the game, so he could get his uniform dirty.
Yeah. And again, that's another Ohio State quarterback. Everybody's juicing this new one up, and I think Philadelphia. I think Carson Wentz has proven to us what Carson Wentz was. I think he's terrible. I wouldn't call him a bust. I think he's serviceable, but he is not doing that team and Coach Peterson any favors. He is all over the place, erratic. He's not reading coverage. and he's a turnover machine, and that does nothing good for that team. I think they have a solid defense, and so that leaves us with everybody's America's team. And I think Coach McCarthy is finding a way to make this thing work. I thought Coach Nolan was a complete knucklehead
Bust.
before the bye. I think he still is that after the bye. I think the guys have bought into it again. I think the guys have just decided to stop thinking and just go to play football. You're in the right position. You're not in the right position. Just go tackle somebody aggressively. You make up for playing with just aggressive. And so they're actually going out and hitting people, making them feel it. I mean, this is a contact sport, a collision sport. And so part of the deal is make people feel you, lean on them. And I think we're seeing that. If they can keep this aggressive nature, then they can cause some turnovers and create some turnovers. I think having Donovan Wilson, who is a bona fide crash dummy.
Yeah.
That's why we don't see him a lot, because he's always injured, because he's throwing his body around like a rag doll. And if he can continue to stay healthy and make plays on defense and be an enforcer back there in the secondary, then you won't see guys running wide open, because they'll be looking around trying to figure out where he is.
Where he is. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what you need back there. If you can't cover, at least you can hit. And if enough people get hit, then you'll start seeing short arms come a long way, alligator arms and catching the ball. I think that's what they need. But right now, I think that they are in a position to win the division. It's all in their hands. If come Thursday they get a W, then they can just play to win their division at 6-10, like Professor says, and we'll host a playoff game, and then everybody's 0-0. We'll go from there. But I do not want to continue to hear about Tampa Bay's greatness, because that is the most Jekyll and Hyde team.
Yeah.
Right there.
Many interceptions. Go ahead, Professor. Can you go now? You want me to go?
I can go. You can go. It don't matter.
All right. I'm hands down. I think, golly, I hate saying this. I really hate saying this, because I think Washington is actually playing a lot better than looks. Alex Smith is back. He's got some receivers. Dallas got to play Washington. I want to see Dallas. I want to see the Cowboys put on another performance like they did this past weekend. Philadelphia is imploding. They're beating themselves up. Philadelphia is really, Carson Wentz, he's going to turn the ball over. He's going to fumble. He's going to hold the ball too long. He don't really have any great receivers to make anything happen. The running game is sporadic. You got Sanders back there. We don't know who's back there. So, there's nothing I'm really scared. And even the Giants, even though you're putting the thing together, you still got to learn how to win. And the Giants hadn't gotten to that point of learning how to win, because they still got a bunch of people that's trying to get there and move something together. So I'm not necessarily fearful of the Giants. I'm not necessarily fearful of. Yeah, I know your eyebrows raised. That's not my fear, Coach. I hate making predictions like this in the middle of the season.
No question.
Well, but Professor can ask the question and don't have to answer it.
Okay.
He does that all the time. Ask a question and don't have to answer. 4 quarters. He'll never answer the question. I'm going to go Dallas. I think Dallas can win the division. I think they can. You get 3 more wins, 4 more wins, you got together. And they've got the second weakest schedule left on the calendar now. You got to play Philadelphia still. You got to play Washington still. You have to play the Giants still. That's 3 right there. You do have Baltimore, which could be a loss. You do have San Francisco.
Could be a loss.
They are grooming Des Bryant to embarrass the Cowboys.
I know. And he said he's going to come back and do that too, didn't he? Okay, so you got Baltimore there, which will be a loss. You got San Francisco still on the schedule, which will be a loss.
Why will the San Francisco game?
Why would that be a loss? They should beat them.
Well, it depends on. Well, even with Garoppolo, it could be San Francisco, couldn't it?
He's done for the year.
Done for the year.
Oh, okay. So you could beat
Kittle is done for the year.
Yeah.
Who's the other 6th game they got on the schedule?
They play they play the Giants again.
Yeah,
talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah, you got the Giants. You got Philadelphia. You
Cowboys.
got Washington.
The Cowboys, as I was going to touch on, is these schedules to answer the question. But again, with the Cowboys, 3 of their last 5 are on the road, so their remaining schedule is at home Thursday against the Redskins, at Baltimore, at Cincinnati, back home against the 49ers and Eagles, and then they close the season at the Giants.
You could actually win 4 games out of that.
Okay. I have to say something here.
Wait, don't even touch on Cincinnati. Without Joe Burrows,
Go ahead, Coach.
It's amazing to me how one win changes everybody's perspective. This is still a bad football team.
oh yeah, it is.
Even though they have the weakest schedule, quote unquote, remaining in the NFL or second weakest, there is no gimmies for this team. So when we're starting to look ahead, there is no guarantee win. There's only guaranteed losses and possible wins. So, and I just wanted to say that, but go ahead.
Well, as a championship spade player, I believe that you know, again, you may not be able to change your hands, but you can change the way you play. And so, if you know how to work possibilities, they become books. And I believe that this team knows how to work what's possible and turn those into some W's. So I'm giving them some dubs against some teams, Cincinnati and San Francisco. Tonight.
I was gonna say, plus let's look at the team. I mean, the way you talk. Let's talk the way you.
But they playing a worse team.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, let's talk the way you talking, Coach. Cincinnati. It's not a guaranteed win. It's not a guaranteed loss either. They just lose Joe Burrow. You know, so what do you have there in Cincinnati? They're 1-19.
Well, you just answered what I just said. There are no guaranteed wins for the Cowboys. There are only guaranteed losses. So this is what we call a pick'em. This is a pick'em.
Wait, now, let's go to your Giants. Let's pull up the Giants schedule.
Wait a minute now. Don't follow my Giants. I'm still a Cowboy fan. That'll never change.
I mean, let's pull up your winning division, which is the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
All right, their schedule is worse than the Cowboys' schedule with winning teams.
Okay.
So the Giants.
All right,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I want to hear that schedule.
The Giants, 3 of their last 4 games are at home. So their remaining games are at Cincinnati, at Seattle, at home against the Cardinals and Browns, and then at Baltimore, and they close out at home against the Cowboys.
That's 3 winning records right there.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland, Seattle, and Arizona. That's 3, and they're 3. So, and they've already lost against the Cowboys.
Yeah, but remember what I told you. I reserve the right to change my mind.
Right. Yeah. I was waiting on that one. That's right.
Because see, I had looked at the schedule. We were talking about the way the teams had been playing at the moment.
Right.
How they've been playing at the moment, and I gave my perspective on that. Now, obviously, that's daunting there.
Yeah.
That's a schedule, right?
Russell, Kyler, oh my God.
Right. Who you got up next? Washington or Philadelphia?
So Philadelphia, 4 of their last 6 home games are up in Philly. So their last 6 is at home against Seahawks. Practically everyone in this division, except for the Cowboys, has to play the Seahawks. So Philly at home against the Seahawks. Then they go to Green Bay to play A. Rodgers and the Packers. Then they go back home to play the Saints. Then they go to Arizona to play Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
Yeah, Philadelphia's done. They're done. They're done. They're done.
And their last 2 home games are against the Cowboys and the Washington football team. So their next 4 games are brutal.
It might be matter. They may be, by the time they get to that game, they may have 10 more.
This is why I said the Cowboys are most favorable to win this division, because the Eagles, who were ahead of the Cowboys, now have faltered due to Carson Wentz quarterback play. And their next 4 games: Seahawks, Packers, Saints, and Cardinals. I just don't see how in the world they will win those games, considering unless Carson Wentz turns it around. So to me, they put Philadelphia in the back seat with those next 4 games.
What's Washington?
Washington, 4 of their last 6 games are on the road. Their next 3 games are on the road consecutively. At Dallas, at Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
And they come home to play the Panthers. Then they close out at Philadelphia.
Yeah, they got some work too. Wow.
See, in division, Dallas has the best opportunity. So, Coach, you want to rechange it? You want to rethink your thinking, or you want to keep going?
Not until I see the game Thursday.
Okay.
If they go play Washington at home and get beat,
yeah, all bets off.
We're right back talking about what we were already talking about, because that's 8 losses. Remember, the Eagles still have that tie. So we still give them a little inside track because they have that tie.
So if everybody in the Cowboys schedule, 3 of their last 5 are on the road, and to close out this conversation here, the Cowboys at home against the Redskins. Then they got to travel to play the Ravens and Cincinnati. Then they come back home to play the 49ers and Eagles. Then they close out the season at the Giants.
See, I'm gonna tell you how this whole thing gonna play out. They'll probably wind up beating Washington, lose 2 in a row, and it's gonna be pandemic going around in Dallas because they're gonna lose 2 in a row.
So they're going to lose to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Without
wait.
Right.
Take that back.
My name Ryan Finley.
Yeah.
Wait, is Cincinnati next after Washington?
After Baltimore and Cincinnati are back to back.
Okay, so they'll beat Washington. They'll lose to Baltimore. They'll beat Cincinnati. So they are 5 and whatever. And then they'll lose. And then you got San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
Correct. And then Philly and the Giants.
Okay, so they'll lose to San Francisco and beat Philly and the Giants. But once they lose that San Francisco game, I don't know.
They're going to lose to Nick Mullins.
Hey, what do you say?
I'm just asking. Nick Mullins, and they don't have their best player at tight end who's going to be done. They're missing one of their running backs because for whatever reason, their running backs keep getting the COVID symptoms. They're missing 80% of their defense, 40% of their offensive line. Yeah, that's another one that Dallas lose. I'm going to make fun of them.
So who on here, before we go into our picks and everything, who on here thinks they can go 5 out of 6?
Nobody.
They could go 5 out of 6, or they can go 0 for 6. It just depends on.
Yeah, if they go 0 for 6, Mike McCarthy needs to be fired. If they can't beat Cincinnati, he needs to be fired on the spot.
I was under the impression that this team should have beat Cleveland, and we gave up 306 on the ground. So
Cleveland's a 7-3.
Cleveland's a good team, though. Cleveland's a good team. Yeah, Cleveland's a good team, though.
Again, I'm saying their games that we should have won, so that should not be the common verdict. Because I think Mike McCarthy should be a one and done anyway. But that's just me. I don't think. And if I had to choose, if I had a magic wish for Christmas, I wish Gary would fire Mike McCarthy and wait on Michigan to fire Jim Harbaugh, and that's who I want coaching.
It ain't happening. That's a long way.
Jim Harbaugh. Oh, come on. That's a good conversation.
Jim Harbaugh.
Hey, man. We're going to have to go to the next segment. Chucky's about to have me go crazy here. Are you kidding me? Jim Harbaugh? Oh, no, man. No.
Coach, Jim Harbaugh.
He's too old school, man. The league is changing. You want somebody more, like a Lincoln Riley. I don't want them to go get Lincoln. I want Lincoln to stay in Oklahoma. But you need another young, offensive-minded coach, Sean McVay, or like the guy out there in San Francisco. Those are the type of coaches I want. It's time to say goodbye to these old school Jeff Fisher, Jim Harbaugh type coaches.
There's a big difference between Jeff Fisher and Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a big difference between Jeff Fisher.
Huge difference.
Jeff Fisher ain't got no job right now.
Harbaugh has about a 3-year shelf life anywhere, but in those 3 years, he will get your team ready to go play, and he will get again everywhere he's been. San Francisco, Stanford, Michigan. He's got a 3-year shelf life, and then the message gets old, and the guys are ready to throw him off the board. But for 3 to 4 seasons, you have a well put together football team that is positioned to win. He took the 49ers from Trashville to a Super Bowl.
I say we give the man who's taken his team to the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl for the past 10 years, 4 times in a row, a chance. You give Mike McCarthy a chance. You don't say he's one and done. He's got how do you lose how do your offensive line gets shuffled on a consistent basis? You lose your starting quarterback. Your defense gets shuffled on a consistent basis, and you're 3 and whatever, but everybody else in the division, I say you let him run his course. You don't give up on the man just that easy, just because we wind up being 3-13.
Oh, okay. It's 3-13. He's out of here.
Well, if we're 3-13, then yeah, okay.
Okay, Doctors ain't having that. 3-13.
Yeah. If we're 13, we okay. But if he, makes some moves and if he turns this thing around, then you gotta take your hands off and say, okay.
At some point, he's going to have to make some coaching changes in the offseason.
Right, and guess what? No offseason. So you got a new coaching staff that has no offseason, none whatsoever. All y'all doing is everything's virtual. No training camp, no nothing. How do you train like that? How do you get a team ready to play like that?
He'll get another year, even if they go
the same way Mike Tomlin did.
No, Tomlin didn't. No, they've always had training camp with Tomlin.
But I'm saying they had the same conditions that everybody else were, and Big Ben was coming off an injury.
Yeah, but Tomlin already had his team
brought
set.
Back the same team. They were already set.
Yeah, it was already set. There was no changes in that team. Yeah. They was already set.
Now, I do want to say that in Mike McCarthy's first season with the Packers, and I know it was 14 years ago, but when he got hired by Ted Thompson in 2006, he started his team 4-8 to begin the season. And then he ripped out 4 wins in a row to end that season 8-8. So he started his first year with the Cowboys at where we're at 3-7 now.
3-7. 3-7. Yeah.
I'm just saying I have to agree with the bench warmer. I mean, when he came into this organization, he was given whatever was left over from last season, and he has to build from that. And he started building from that from last year's draft when he drafted the best players available. He's the one that drafted CeeDee Lamb. If he had Jason Garrett as head coach, I really would not have believed Jason Garrett would have went for CeeDee Lamb. He would have went for whatever he felt was needed for his team in terms of the position. Mike McCarthy is different. Whoever is the best player on that board, regardless of what we need on this team, that's who you go after. I can't say that was a bad move because we're seeing a NFL rookie playing the way he's playing as a wide receiver 3, and he's playing the way he's playing with Dak Prescott and with Andy Dalton. So we clearly see that was a pretty good draft pick, but he started 4-8 with the Packers. I mean, and now we look at his resume with the Packers, the NFC Championships, the Super Bowl here and now when he beat the Pittsburgh Steelers here at AT&T Stadium. So I'm just saying, I mean, this is just his first year. If you're going to hire a head coach, I would say give him a 3 to 4 year window. If he keeps running off with these losses year in, year out, then I would see it's time for a change. But it's too quick to pull a hook on the head coach who was given whatever was left from last year. He has to work on the roster. He has to be given the ability to be, quote unquote, a GM and be able to say, hey, this is what I want on my team. I want to see a Dallas Cowboys team led by Mike McCarthy with the talent that he will put on the roster if you give him the chance. So I'm just saying. And then on top of that, he's so used to calling plays, but he got Kellen Moore who is an offensive whiz himself, that gives Mike McCarthy a different perspective on coaching a football team without having to call the plays. So I would say get a man at least 3 or 4 years, and then let's see what happens. The Jason Garrett era is over. We've seen what we saw from Garrett in 9 to 10 years. It was the same message every year. It was getting old. It was time for him to go. So
the clapper.
I'm just saying, give a man a chance. I like McCarthy myself. He hasn't given me a reason to believe he can't lead this team, but give him a chance.
Okay. All right. We'll give him a chance now.
Now let's move on to get this week's picks. Last week's results. Uncle Aaron was number 1, had 8 points. Yours truly had 7. That's me. I'll just let y'all know I was right there. Second.
All right.
I was second. Did I say that? Yeah, understand it, right? Okay. Kevin was second with 7. Casey, my sister, was second with 7, and Philly was second. Jay was third with 6. Noah was third with 6. Somebody named Security was third with 6 too. I don't know who that Security. She had 6. Keith had 6. Sports Radio DJ, you had 6.
I'm still number 1.
I didn't get a chance to pick. I totally forgot.
Okay.
I'm picking right now.
That's a good one there. My dad has 5. Greg had 5. Ray's Rome had 5. Alex had 5. And everybody else, and then Dr. Rock had 4.
Right.
Overall, I'm tied. Oh, we don't just go with me, huh? All right, Security's got 108.
Don't you say it.
Shelly's got 108.
I'm number 1. Say it.
I'm muting myself.
Really beating everybody.
I'm glad to say she's the superb one in the house. She's the better picker.
She copied off of me, and I changed my picks when she copied.
He messed me up with that Carolina game.
Kevin's got 103. This is how it's getting closer. Phil's got 103. Uncle Aaron got 102. Daddy's got 102. Jay's got 100. I got 100. Noah's got 100. Dr. Rock's got 98. Yeah, let's go down to you. Sports Radio DJ, you got 90. So it's getting closer.
Ain't that close?
It's getting close. It's going to be close.
The fact that y'all let Noah have that, never mind. Keep going.
I know. How does Noah get 100? All right, so let's go to this week's picks. Let's go here. I'm not gonna make your picks for you. I gotta go here. Oh, here we go. I got it right here. Let's go to this week's picks. First pick is the Houston Oilers. I mean, not Houston Oilers. Golly, Houston Texans. You know, I'm old school. Houston Texans 3-7 versus Detroit 4-6. Anybody can jump in.
Deshaun Watson and the Texans. I got them.
Yeah, me too. Detroit's defense is terrible. Watson, if that team was doing anything on defense, probably in the MVP race. He's been terrific. And so, that's a no-brainer.
All right, yeah. I'm going. Well, you know what, though? Detroit's been playing a little decent, though.
No, they haven't.
They've been giving people a fight.
Matthew Stafford has some torn ligament in his thumb. Their running back might not play because he got an injury issue. Their best wide receiver is questionable. He's been dealing with a hip issue. Their tight end is dealing with an injury issue and might not play. I think it's Hockenson is how you pronounce his name. Yeah, they're beat up, man. And believe it or not, the Texans on offense have been terrific. They've just been awful on defense.
All right, so Coach and Chucky, y'all going Houston, right?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Professor.
I am going Detroit in an upset
Ooh.
at home.
you-
I'm taking the Lions at home.
And you writing it down, right?
Yes, I'm doing
All
that
right.
now.
I'm writing Chucky and a coach picks right now.
Right.
I'm going. I'm gonna go. God dog it. It's in Detroit, Dome Stadium.
Road games don't matter. There are no fans.
I know, but they play different on turf than they do on grass.
Yeah, faster makes Deshaun Watson a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Houston. I was gonna do that anyway, but I gotta be professor every once in a while and throw some stuff out there. All right, next game we got, and we're gonna have to move fast on these games right here. Next game we got the other Thursday night game, Washington 3-7 versus Dallas 3-7.
I'm going
I'm
with the
starting to
Cowboys.
say Dallas.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys. Team ain't got a mascot. Don't get no vote from me.
Right, team ain't got a last. Team don't have a last name. Don't get no vote from me.
23-20.
Ain't that close. 2010.
So the defense is gonna step it up, huh?
Yeah.
Now watch Professor. Watch what he does. I can just feel it. Professor, it's on you, man.
I
I
got
feel it.
Washington in the
See,
upset.
I knew it. I knew it. I
think
knew
the
it.
Redskins is going to sweep the Cowboys this year.
Redskins hadn't swept themselves this year yet, let alone another team.
It wouldn't shock me having a hangover after your first big win of the season.
Well, I think the Cowboys gonna win because you know their position coach, their special teams coach. No, their special. Their was it special teams coach? No, the conditioning coach.
Strength and conditioning.
He's in the hospital on a serious illness, and they supposedly love him. So you know, players will play for other players. So let's keep it moving. Baltimore 6-4, Pittsburgh 10-0. Is this where Pittsburgh loses?
Yes. Quote the Raven Nevermore. I'm going with Lamar Jackson and Dez Bryant.
Well, I'm going with Lamar Jackson. I don't know if Dez Bryant is going to be in it, but I'll go with Lamar Jackson though.
Has anybody been watching the Ravens play? They haven't looked good in a month. They have a quarterback who can't throw outside the numbers. If you take away the seam throws, he's very, very mediocre. And Pittsburgh took away him running all over the place the last time. I'm taking the Steelers to go 11-0.
All right. Professor, is this going to be another upset? You picked like 2 or 3 upsets already. And you need to win anyway.
What game are we on again?
Baltimore versus Pittsburgh.
That's right. I have Pittsburgh at home. They're going 11-0.
All right. Now y'all have
Lamar
to remember.
Jackson. I was going to say Lamar Jackson is not the same as we saw last year, and that's no surprise. But I don't know. The head coach of the Steelers got that team going right now. They're playing from offense, defense, special teams. Everything is clicking right now for that team. I got Pittsburgh all the way.
All right, now y'all have to remember, we need to calm our voice down and not talk as loud because security might be listening. And so if you want, just type in who you're picking because I don't want her to, you know how she be cheating and stuff like that.
You wish.
Twitter Nation, rise up, baby.
That's why she's number 1 because she, be listening and stuff like
You
that.
wish.
Judge our votes. Okay, here we go. Tennessee 7-3 versus Indy 7-3. This is going to be a good game right here.
Yes, it is. My goodness.
I love Derrick Henry. I mean, you can't get enough Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. I'm going Tennessee.
I want Philip Rivers.
You want Phillip Rivers?
I want Philly real with the 9 kids. He playing for all his babies need new shoes. I'm going with Indianapolis.
Now this game ain't gonna get him no new shoes, but it might help him into that position to get new shoes for the playoffs, right?
I'm gonna go with the better defense, so I'm gonna take the Colts.
Smart man.
All right, Professor, you the last one on the clock.
I'm
It's like we drafted, and he takes all 15 minutes to draft.
sorry.
Runs
I
the
keep
card
losing
up.
track because I'm sorry. I keep losing track. So I'm putting in my predictions as we speak. What game are we on again?
Tennessee versus Indianapolis.
Oh, upset special. Colts at home,
All right.
and they are.
See,
Let's not forget they are 7-3, just like the Titans.
right.
And we keep forgetting. We keep looking at Phillip Rivers and saying he ain't the same, but he's not being outstanding Phillip Rivers, but he's not being bad Phillip Rivers as well. He's been clutch, as we saw the last 2 games. So, and they're 7-3, and their defense is solid. I'm gonna say Indianapolis 24, Tennessee 21 on that. That's gonna be a close game, but I got Colts.
Okay. I gotta check the standings on this right here. But let me go to the next one. Now, the standings might be wrong on this one right here, but we got the 3-7 Giants versus. I bet they're 7-3. Cincy.
No, they're not 7-3.
No, they 2-7-1. I'm sorry, I got my standings wrong.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants. No
Yeah,
explanation.
you trying to get them into. You trying to get them into the.
I just feel like if the Giants are gonna beat Cincinnati, and I know we can beat Cincinnati because we can beat the Giants, so I'm going with the Giants.
Let's put. There we go. Hey, with no Barrows, I'm going Giants too.
I am going to Giants as well on this one here.
This is all across the board right here. All right, the 3-7 Chargers versus the 7-3 Buffalo Bills. Buffalo has surprised me. What they had? Buffalo is good. I'm going Buffalo. I'm going Buffalo.
I'm going with the Tony Romo inspired Josh Allen Buffalo Bills.
Tony Romo inspired.
Josh Allen spent this offseason working out with one Antonio Romero, and he learned how to get pocket presence and how to throw on the run. Tony Romero.
He just learned how to throw it to Cole Beasley, and he's doing a good job.
And that's another reason you work out with Tony Romo, because he threw it to Cole Beasley. So,
and he's doing a good job.
And so I am going with Josh Allen and those Buffalo Bills. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
I'm going with the hottest rookie in the game, Justin Herbert, and the LA Chargers.
But he's not winning, so he's hot. But he's like Deshaun Watson. If his defense showed up and they can win a close game, he'd be MVP candidate too.
I'm gonna say he is on an MVP run though, if they can win.
This young fella is special in a major way. My goodness, was I wrong about him?
Yeah, he is. All right, Professor.
This is a tough one. It's Josh Allen versus Herbert, and Keenan Allen caught 16 passes from Herbert just this past weekend. And that combo, Herbert and Keenan Allen, whew, and they're still losing, but they have some offensive firepower.
Yeah.
Anybody know what the weather going to be like in Buffalo?
I was gonna say, you forget they're in Buffalo. It's gonna be cold.
Well, do you know what the weather going to be?
I don't know. I'm not the weatherman right now. Don't have the forecast.
Who knows?
I'm gonna pull it up right now because I think that's gonna be a factor for the Chargers. So it's going to be sunny and 50 degrees.
In Buffalo, that's cold.
Not that cold. No, it's not.
This is not LA 50. This is Buffalo 50.
But you forget where Herbert came from?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the whole team. We're talking about the whole team, not just one player.
I understand.
All right, go ahead. What you got?
Oh, gosh, this is tough. I can't deny Josh Allen either, because he's been playing some ball. I'm going to go Buffalo in a close one.
I love how you do that, how you put a lot of stuff out there and still go who you going to go Buffalo.
Because like, as Coach said, Justin Herbert is probably going to win NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's just hands down. The dude, ever since he came in for Tyrod Taylor, he hasn't looked back. The dude has even helped out Keenan Allen to the point, and Allen said this offseason he felt like he's the best wide receiver in the game. He got laughed at on Twitter. But
yeah,
Keenan Allen, man, the dude's, when he gets the ball, he gets the ball. He had 19 targets last week and caught 16 passes. Who does that? But Josh Allen, the dude can play ball, just like what Chucky alluded to. He worked out with Romo. You see how his game improved. The dude not only throws touchdowns, he runs touchdowns. At the inside the 10, he's their goal line runner. I'm going to say Buffalo in the close one. I think that's probably going to be the game of the week for me.
All right. Moving forward, the 6-4 Raiders versus the 3-7 Falcons.
And Julio Jones may not even play in this game because the hamstring that came up on him again. I'm going Raiders. And Derek Carr is my most improved player this season. He has finally stepped up his game. He has finally turned it around. He's playing solid ball, solid football. But I'm going Raiders in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Raiders too.
Yeah, I'm going with the Raiders. I mean, Derek Carr is most improved because he's got a valuable 13-year vet tight end to help guide him through this NFL season. So,
and I'm sorry, Josh Jacobs ain't no slouch either. You got a running back to give.
And I give credit to Jason Witten for helping out. No, no, I'm gonna go with the Raiders too. I think Atlanta has all but mailed it in. I think they're breaking the huddle 1-2-3 Cancun.
Yeah, they going they going where Tony Romo was.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going with the Raiders for this one without even a question.
This has the smell of an upset written all over it, but I'm going to go with the Raiders anyway.
See, why does it smell like that and you still don't go with the smell?
It just has the smell of an upset.
That's Thanksgiving dinner on the horizon. That's what
There it is. Yeah. We're getting close to the end anyway, so let's hurry this up so we can get to the Thanksgiving dinner, right? The Browns, 7-3 Brown versus the 1-9. Yeah.
Browns.
That's Browns all the way. Browns.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's quarterbacking in Duval County.
Jake Luton.
Luton or Ruben or something like that.
Jake, yeah.
Come on, Baker.
All right, let's keep it moving. This is your game. Coach, this is your game right here.
Carolina versus the Mini Ha-Has, huh? If Teddy Bridgewater is back.
No, they got that.
No, I like the
They got that
kid from the
PJ.
NFL.
Yeah, that P. Yeah.
PJ Walker.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that kid. He went to
Temple
or something. He was the quarterback at Temple. He was at Temple. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he threw 2 picks. I wasn't that impressed. He was serviceable. I'm going with Minnesota.
I got Minnesota too.
I'm going Carolina in a blowout.
Uh-oh.
Now, I'm going with Carolina in a blowout. 10
Now, what?
points.
What's your? Oh, okay. I'm going Minnesota. I don't think
if Christian McCaffrey were to play in this game, which I don't think he will, I would say Carolina, but he's still banged up. Yeah,
No, he's out. But I'm still going
okay.
with them in a stomper.
Okay.
I want them to stomp out Coach Zim. I think it's over right now.
All right, I'm putting the word "stomper" by your name. All right, AZ Sooner Nation Rise Up versus New England 4-6. I'm going Arizona.
Murray versus Cam Newton.
I don't like how Cam Newton look. I don't like how New England looks. I'm going AZ.
Cam Newton threw for almost 400 yards
Right.
in the
That's
last
what I was
game.
about to say.
I still don't like. He's so sporadic. I don't like the way the whole team. I don't like the way New England doesn't look like the New England last year.
Well, the defense has
No,
definitely
Cam.
been up and down. Look, I love Kyler Murray. That is my dude. But this has upset written all over it, and I'm going with the upset. I'll take New England.
Uh-oh.
I'm going with New England as well with the coach. Cam.
No, Cam. Professor?
I got Arizona in a close one.
Yeah. Professor.
I don't think they're gonna lose. I don't think they're gonna lose two straight games. I just don't see that happening.
All right. Surprise team. Miami 6-4 versus the Jets 0-10. Oh, Davis, need to say something?
Jesus.
I'm going Miami.
Yeah. Anybody versus the Jets. ODY versus the Jets. I'm taking,
And you play for OD Wyatt.
Right. Yeah. So give me Miami.
I got Miami all day on this one. I don't care if it's Fitzpatrick or Tua. It's Miami.
I'm going Miami.
Marino showed up and suited up. It's Miami.
Unless they played the Cowboys last year, then I'd go Jets.
If there was a game the Jets would win, it would be this one, but I'm going with Miami.
See, why do you do us like that?
I'm just telling you. If the Jets are going to win the game, this will be the one. I'm not picking them.
If they start Geno Smith in front of never mind.
Yeah, Geno Smith is he's the backup in Seattle.
No.
Yes.
Who's the backup who's the backup now? Who's backing up my man from Baltimore?
Yeah, well,
that will be Robert Griffin III.
Robert Griffin III.
Yeah, Robert Griffin. Yeah.
Okay, all right, there it is. That's where he is. I knew it was somewhere up in there. I didn't know. Yeah, there you go. RG3 sighting.
Jets is gonna have to bring Joe Namath out of retirement to even think about winning this game.
If you want to start RG3, I'd give him a shot.
All right. The New Orleans Saints 8-2 versus Denver 4-6. I'm going to New Orleans, but New Orleans is kind of dropping off too. I'm gonna go New Orleans.
How is New Orleans dropping off at 8-2?
Because their quarterback play is getting ready to be suspect.
Give me Denver.
He looked fine to me, but okay. You want Denver?
Give me Denver.
We're going to go with sorry Drew Lock against the New Orleans defense in spectacular. All right, I'm not doing it. I'll take New Orleans.
This has a trap game written on it too, because they felt real good about themselves with Taysom Hill, and they're gonna forget and give me Denver.
And the team is split anyway, because half of them thought Winston was supposed to start.
That team ain't split. They picked the right quarterback. Jameis Winston is terrible.
I know. I'm realizing now, Jameis Winston ain't terrible. Bruce B.A. is terrible, because the last 4 quarterbacks that Bruce Arians has coached has done career interceptions under his tutelage, from Andrew Luck up to Jameson last year, and Tom Brady is on pace right now to throw 15 interceptions, which is the most in his career. Bruce Arians is bad. I don't think
Bruce Arians' fault that Tom Brady threw that inexplicable pass at the end of the game to lose the game when you're driving. He decided to make that deep throw.
Yeah, he did.
They threw deep all game, and that ain't Tom Brady's game plan either. So again,
no, Tom Brady's a dink and dump type quarterback.
Exactly.
Man, he's still a veteran and knows better. Just because the play is called to throw it deep doesn't mean to throw it deep.
I I ain't blaming Bruce Arians for Tom Brady's problems as well as Jameis's problem, Andrew Luck's problem. Bruce Arians calls a very aggressive down the field game, and that doesn't work out for some of these dink and dunk guys. So again, I don't. I'm still going with Denver, but I'm just saying on that note, I think that wasn't all Jameis. That wasn't famous Jameis's problem. I think some of that was coaching.
Sean Payton had saw Jameis, and he doesn't even like him.
He did set him down, though, didn't he?
He didn't even start him. So it's Jameis. Jameis eating wins that he's not even contributing to. You see that nonsense? He's still a knucklehead, man. I have no time for him.
He does. He's eating.
I didn't like him in college, and I still don't like him now.
All right, let's keep it moving. Professor's trying to log back in, but let's keep it moving.
I think that's it. Oh, the Rams. There we go. Yeah.
No, we got 2 more. Actually, 3 more.
Rams all day.
Rams over San Fran? Yeah, I'm Rams too.
Rams playing probably the best defense in the league right now. They've been shutting people down.
Got that secondary.
That secondary has got people on lock.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that front line, Donald. Yeah,
that is a no-fly zone in their secondary.
right. Let's keep it going. Let's go. KC 91, Tampa Bay 7-4. I'm going KC.
Kansas City.
Any differences?
No, I'm taking Kansas City.
Tom Brady he ain't been sacked enough yet.
He's finna get hit. Yeah. What you got, Professor? KC?
Yes, I have Kansas City on that one.
All right. Keep it moving. 5-5 Chicago, 7-3 Green Bay. I'm going Green Bay.
Green Bay all the way.
Aaron Rodgers for sure. Yeah. The only thing about this game is how many touchdowns Devontae has.
Don't know. He'll be in my DraftKings lineup. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
He's in my. I'll tell you that right
now. Yeah, he gonna put up some numbers. I think I got him on my team too.
He put up some numbers this week. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I got him on my team too. And Professor, appreciate you contacting me on that yesterday, Sunday. Hey, get my draft together. I want to win in that game.
Yeah, because you losing games because you don't ever check your fantasy team.
Yeah, but I need to. I won that game. All right, and then see this makes us look good. Do we even make these same things? Seattle 7-3, Philadelphia 3-6.
Yeah, Russell Wilson. Go home.
Unless Russell Wilson decides not to play, this is a no-brainer in my eyes.
Go Hawks.
Hold on, but Professor's going to tell us why we shouldn't just bank hard on Seattle. So go ahead and give us the rundown.
Seattle and who?
And Philadelphia.
That game there is all Seahawks.
Okay.
I don't. No, that's not an upset at all. No.
He broke that down for us.
I thought you was gonna give us trap like a mug. Oh, this is a trap game. Philadelphia's coming off of this. They're playing home. And
Carson Wentz has given us every reason to believe now that the Dallas Cowboys made the right decision in drafting Dak Prescott in the 4th round. Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in that class. Out of him, Jared Goff, and Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott.
What about Paxton Lynch? And what about Paxton Lynch? And
no one's talking about them, bench warmer. Nobody. No Connor Cook and no Paxton Lynch.
Connor Cook is even in the league?
Nope.
Yeah, I think so.
I was gonna say, hey.
But somehow Nathan Peterman is still in the league. So.
That's your hater quarterback.
Oh my gosh!
All right, this has been 4-1 Sports Talk Radio. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Coach.
No problem.
Thank you, Chucky. Any last words?
No. Cowboys better win.
Y'all have a great Thanksgiving and watch us stuff that that old turkey with that red skin.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Wait. Who's gonna get the turkey leg? Zeke.
CeeDee Lamb.
I'd say Zeke and Leighton Vander Esch.
Okay, I hear alarm. Get up.
I'm gonna say Andy Dalton.
night.
Dalton
I'm gonna say
gets
I'm
to
gonna say
Alarms are
Zeke.
going off.
All right. We will talk to y'all next week. Maybe happy or maybe sad. We'll see y'all next week. This has been 41 Sports Talk Radio, ForumRadioNetwork.com. We are out of here.
Peace.
Peace.
Mm.